Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Well, welcome to day one of distance learning for math. Um, it's all new for everyone, I kind of think. So it'll be fun and interesting to say the least. You know, we can do this. We have all the resources, so let's have fun with it, I say. So just what you're seeing right now is the assignments on my end. So as of today, what I'd like to do is I'd just like to do a recap just today, keeping it light and simple, of what we discussed at our last meeting. I know I gave you guys 3 packets because I will be utilizing those over the next couple days, probably starting next week. And then we'll just kind of wrap up Unit 9 and probably go towards more project-based assessments for you guys and just some quiz forms and stuff like that. So nothing too crazy. But that way, some of you guys, if you want to still work on bringing up your grade or whatever, you'll have that opportunity. So just breathe and let's take it one day at a time. So for today, again, the goal for me is that you guys refresh on what we did on our last meeting last Friday. So it's almost been a week, so this is what I'd like you to do. And I miss you guys so much. I do. All right. So solving quadratics by taking square roots video. So I'd like you guys to watch that video. And then there's two practices of quadratics by taking square roots. One, when there's only one variable, and this is the notes that I gave you guys on Friday. I taught you guys that if there's only one variable, the square root method is going to be the easiest to solve for your x-intercepts. The other method is if they look like, or sorry, the when you use this method is if it also appears to look like it's in vertex form, that's when you would use the square root method. So they are different questions. As you see, it's different questions. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of those. Even though I want you to try this on your own later on, I want you guys to have a reference on how to do each. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this first assignment and do a couple with you. So, all right, this first example. Also, if you click this button here, but it's so much easier for you guys just to do a pen and paper on the side. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this problem on the side. It says 8, I'm using a mouse, by the way. This is horrible. 8x squared minus 800 equals 0. Okay, so the idea here is to solve for x and get it by itself. So before we do that, we have to get rid of any addition or subtraction. So I'm going to get rid of the 800 by adding 800 to both sides. Yeah, not fun, right? Okay, so there we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring down the 8x squared. So 8x squared, and then equals the 800 now. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 8. All right, and so from here, these 8 divided by 8 is just 1, so we're left with x squared, which, yeah, let's erase that. That's horrible. Erase. Nope, I want you gone too. You too. Okay, so we get x squared. Fun times, right, guys? X squared. Good thing for you, you could just like fast forward a little bit. Just kidding. All right, so 800 divided by 8 is 100. Okay. And now finally, to undo a square, we square root. Don't forget the plus or minus over here. And so you get x equals plus or minus the square root of 100, which is 10. Now, one thing I want you to remember, like if you get like a number like 27, you're going to look for common squares and simplify it that way. So make sure there's no perfect squares remaining underneath. So when it says a smaller number, it's going to be the negative 10. So I'm going to go negative 10, and the bigger number is a positive 10. So when I go hit check, there you go. So next question. All right, so when I subtract that, I'm going to get, okay, so that's another perfect square. I will do this one with you guys. I'm just going to subtract 7 from both sides. So I get x squared equals, what's that, 36? And And then here we go. Now to undo a square, we square root. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. And then you do have your plus or minus. So x equals plus or minus 6. So the smaller number is the negative 6, and the bigger number is the positive 6. And now I'm going to check. Yes. All right, so 3 out of 4 correct. I don't know which one I got wrong. Oh well. All right, so I'm going to go down to the next example that you guys, that I assigned to you guys. So now this appears to be in vertex form, so I just want to do one of those. All right, so when it appears to be in vertex form, opposite, same kind of thing, we want to isolate the parentheses, so we're going to move the 49 to the right side. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that here. A little bit less difficult to do. So what I'm doing is, to get rid of the negative 49, I add 49 to both sides. All right, and what I do to one side, I do to the other, just showing that step over here. So that's how I get the 49 over here. And now we're going to go ahead and square root both sides. Plus or minus. My finger's kind of hurting, so I'm going to keep that over here. Equals plus or minus. Actually, I asked you guys not to simplify the radical to the end, just in case. So I'm going to move the plus or minus square root of 49 to the end here. All right, that's a 4. All right, so now, so it's x plus 7 equals plus or minus the square root of 49. So now I'm going to isolate x by subtracting 7 from each side. And now we get x equals a negative 7 plus or minus, now the square root of 49 is 7. So when I simplify this, I'm going to go negative 7 plus 7. So a negative 7 plus 7, which equals 0. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the other side, a negative 7 minus 7, a negative 7 minus 7, which equals a negative 14. Okay. Whoops, before I hit submit, I have to put the smaller number is my negative 14, and my larger number is 0. So I am going to check that, and it is correct. All right, so, and I just put my solutions in there and on accident, so I put check, and it said check my work because I had got it incorrect, and then I forgot it wanted the smaller number up top and the larger number on the bottom. So, all right, fun times, right? So that's why I'm making these mistakes before you. All right, let's make sure that we know how to walk through this next one. Same thing, you're going to add 49. So you let y equal 0. So when you let y equal 0, you end up with x plus 6 squared equals, now I'm going to add 49 to both sides, and that's why 49 is a positive 49 now. And you do what we just did a little bit ago, square root both sides, and you get x plus 6 equals, so jailbreaks when we square root, plus or minus. I'm going to scooch this down because I don't want to simplify this till the end. All right, and then we subtract 6 from each side, subtract 6. My goodness, my wrist is really hurting using this mouse. X equals a negative 6 plus or minus, now the square root of 49 is 7. So you're going to go negative 6 plus 7 is a positive 1. And then negative 6 minus 7 is a negative 13. So when I go plug in my numbers, I'm going to put the smaller number of my that's a star. Careful when you plug in numbers, and just take your time because I've already hit different numbers instead of what I was supposed to, and I hit submit and didn't realize it. So just take your time when you're plugging in. Check. All right, so you guys are more than welcome to go ahead and get started. I just kind of wanted to make sure you guys knew how. Let's see, when you add 11 and then subtract 7, okay, so that's going to be your first step, add 11, subtract 7. All right, so I'll let you guys get some practice in. Again, the only 3 things I want you to do is just review your work from the last Friday that we met. Make sure that's all complete. We will be submitting by taking a picture and knocking it out. And then I'll also follow up with your work when we get into back to school after spring break. But otherwise, just for today, make sure you get caught up on last Friday's assignments. Everybody was there, actually. I had 100% attendance. So just make sure that assignment is complete. And then, which was the back side of the notes, which I did post. So I don't know if you can see this at all, but you guys had to complete this page. So if there's anything that you need help with, feel free to reach out. Guys, comment below any of the assignments if you need help, and I'll do my best to reach out to you guys one-on-one and or just create a video if I see the common questions. All right, well, have a nice weekend. Very simple day. Watch the one video, do the 2 practices, and get caught up on anything that you were behind on from Friday. And then we'll catch up on Tuesday. If you have any questions, I will be available tomorrow also for office hours. All right, so have a good one.